Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from the Rocky Outcrop Educational Channel. I am Corey Bing Bong, your technical analysis teacher's assistant for this, the Stonk 101 Fibonacci retracement section.
We're thinking, what did the person say then? Why has he gone back on himself? Why has he deleted that bit out? You know, let me be the one that decides. You concentrate on your job, try and do it as good as you can, and let me be the one to decide when you're talking shit is shit, when it's funny, when it's a joke, whatever. Because I, as the presenter in this case, believe in you as the audience to be able to do that, right? I believe in you. I don't think I need to edit this stuff so you can decide if it goes in or not. You're smart enough for it. You're here watching my time.
Or they give you an indication how strong this reversal is, or retracement, if you will, all the way back to 100%. And at this point in 1989, listening to Nirvana for the first time, they good.
Am I streaming right now? I might be. And if I am, hi and welcome to the show. Apologies for not having a timer up on screen. I didn't realize it was actually live. Also, I didn't realize for the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes or however long it's been that I've been live. Thanks so much for confirming that for me. Yes, I see you coming in the chat. Right. Okay. Thanks very much. Old school methodology for doing the chapters here, I guess, in a way. I mean, I'll bring up a timer of some shape, size, or description at some point here. This internet working now, all of a sudden, constantly trying to download Corey's video here so we can watch it. Right, there's the second timer. Right, so it's been a wee bit of a frustrating stream for me. So then from this point on, there's a timer on the screen. Right, we're going to be doing this, the charts and everything else. So let's just dive in and take a look at them. We'll be doing our normal morning show from here on out. Thank you so much for joining me. We've got lots to discuss, plenty of news articles related to GME, GameStop. That is going to be interesting to take a look at. And we'll be doing our squats as well. Squats for Stonks. So thanks for joining me. Plenty to come. Lots to look forward to. Thank you. Here we go. Oh, and this is a great time to hit the like button. Recommended by YouTube professionals across the world. So let's get on with El Squattos, right? The first things first. We've got the date. Look, the markets are already open. Everything's gone a bit funny. I know you really want to see the charts, etc. I'm sure you do. So I'll bring up some charts. There's Evergrande doing really well in that position that I got in there, by the way. Thanks very much. Yes, great. Above $3 now on Evergrande. Above $3. Yeah, that's brilliant. So wait, what am I looking for here again? Yeah, stocks. Yeah, stocks. That's what we do in the show. Stocks. So the discussion was whether or not we were in the Gartley or the thingamajig here for this one. And it seems like, yesterday, of course, and today so far we've been down here 177. What's the low so far today? 4-hour time frame, 15-minute time frame, showing us where we are right now, down at 177.95, not quite down. Oh, there we go now, 178.25. Not quite below this orange line here. Seems to be giving us that support first thing in the morning. So we'll also be taking a look at our other favorite stocks. Got AMC over here, 36.98, 36.89, 36.90. Oof, it's not been great. So far today, 36.67 is its low. The 618 golden pocket that we've got our eye on here is between 35, 36. not nice to be doing all this. Hoping to see bullish divergence, and yeah, sure, there's plenty of it. So any time for a turnaround, I'm willing to buy into it and be positive, you know, and look up the way. So that's where we are. AHT, shout out to Bad Mama Jama. Pushing back down underneath $15. Just ever. Oh, it's here. It is beneath $15 right now. It's lost a little bit of its luster today for sure. With the, I guess a lot of liquidity coming in here just to push it down a little bit. What are we talking about so far? Well, it's just started really, so we'll see how this pans out for the day. Did great coming up here towards these 1720 highs. I'm looking for this thing to be trending now. So it dropping down so severely as it were here to come into the RSI just here in the 50-minute time frame is kind of annoying, but frustrating. So we'll be able to set all that up on the 4-screen chart, I suppose, or something like that, so people can see what we've got on the go for now. People can suggest which things they'd like to have in here. I'll just pop this over to GME so you can see the current prices of it on your screens. So where would you look if you're looking for the current prices of it here? It's just on the right hand side. You see it says 178, but see for AMC it's not so easy to see. Why is that? It's not on screen. That's a big part of it. 36.88. So it's not so clear. I guess the format in between these two being different is really annoying. Down in that golden pocket though, we're getting there. We're going towards it. We're not at it yet. Going towards it. It's just down about here. So oof. Right, that's the 1 minute chart I've got on the right hand side. On the left hand side, I'll stick the 1 minute on. So we're going to do our squats now. Get them done. Today's show's been disrupted slightly. Good to see you, Pam. Good to see you, Banana Fridge. Minner, good morning to you. Good morning, Jiu-Jitsu. Naked, getting crushed. Everything's getting crushed today, right? Looks like it so far. Are we in for a real red day or what? I wonder. So hopefully we get some nice bounces now. It's just starting off the day looking negative. Like squats. The squats will bring the prices back into equilibrium. I'm pretty confident that the squats are going to do that for us. So let's get on with it. Hey, Rocky Outcrop, what are your thoughts on the flash on your DMI on the AMC daily? We'll have a look at that when we come back. So we're going to do the squats, right? So there's the charts up in the background. I'll just see that the timer's working here, the things working, right? So let's do our squats. Squat cam activated. Yeah. Chat yesterday was that you'd try and keep your shins at a 90-degree angle. Thanks for that jiu-jitsu guy for explaining that one to me. I didn't know what you mean about shins going over your toes crap. Let's do it. One. I see with the shins thing, that's hard. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And one really good one. Oh wait, are you saying nice form? Really? I'm trying hard. I didn't think it was that good. 12. Squats for Stonks. Way. I had to fill up my bottle again with juice. Because I ran out. Way. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. Those jeans are they're not that great, eh? Squats and jeans can be tough. Yeah, and I got a belt on too. It's business time. Had this whole plan, right? I would do my show, my sort of get ready for the show part, whip off the jumper, be like, Hey, it's business time. Let's get started with the charts. Well, hey, things didn't really go to plan. Stay positive, though. It's always important to stay positive. So, here we are staying positive about GME. It's not actually at 177. Now, that's of no real consequence, but it's not, you know, so it's still struggling though. 178.81. And yeah, so somebody asked, what do you think about the AMC flash on the daily? Just a quick look at AMC so far as well. 36.67 still the low, or that just happened. Yeah, today's low still the low at 36.60, 36.67. Naked, let's see. Getting crushed. Yeah, dropped right down. The squats did a good job of giving it a bit of a resurgence in price. So well done to everybody for squatting the prices back up again. That's all yous that did that with your squats. Hi. Are you wearing business socks? It's business time. Like the Concords. It's business. It's business time. Next best entry for RYCEY, looking towards 181 and 150. Well, we'll take a look at the RYCEY charts then for that minute. Let's do that. Also going to take a look today's show, the great stuff we've got coming up, the segments. We've got the news at the top of the hour, so we'll take a look at the news at about 9 a.m. USA time, and we'll also do a few examples of TA from the community that's been submitted for the homework assignment that you have done. So well done, and I'm looking forward to looking at them as well. So we'll start off with Stally. We'll try and get through a couple of them, see you know how we're doing there. Keep them coming, everybody. Really great stuff. All different standards are absolutely welcomed. I'd love to see more complete beginner stuff as well, because not been a massive amount of it. Yeah, so like this is this chat that I had recently about islands. Remember, I've talked about islands, and you got these islands here, right? And coming back down to this point and connecting up and going on again wouldn't be that big a deal. Obviously, coming back down to this point and going on through on down again, that makes you look back up at this and think, that was a bit of a problem. You know, like maybe we go on further, etc. You know, I don't know. This is obviously a very short-term chart. Hey Kim, thanks so much. You've changed your picture again. That's cool. Pardon me. Here's the good days ahead. Thank you. 75 on the naked. So we're doing still. Naked is still great. Is above 72, isn't it? It's great above 72. It's great above 65. So we're you know staying above these zones is great. Coming back down and retesting this area as it's kind of doing so far isn't that big a deal, so long as we can continue to go on up the way. Leaving gaps on the chart's not that big a deal. But what you see, as you can see, like you know, we did this sort of experience before. Coming back down, then you know you're looking at this and you're saying you got your island here. Let me just undo this. So you've got this chunk here. Oh, we've got our wee kind of island here, and then whoa, great, you know, and it makes this chunk of price action look like more reasonable in a sense. Back down though, and you're thinking, well, it better not get out of that zone, and then it did, and then it was just like filling in a gap there. It wasn't enough. Retesting this low liquidity area, not enough. Going on down the way, and actually making this whole thing into its own sort of. It's not really an island anymore, but you get the point that I'm kind of trying to make here. I think probably at this point. So this is so great, you know, well done to us, blah blah blah, and then you know on up again, and we can do the same sort of thing. Hopefully not trending down the way. Hopefully managing to go sideways and so on. Anyway, too long on that chart. So we wanted to take a look at AMC. I was kind of hoping to see how that if it would resolve at all. 37.42 at the minute. Green candle on the AMC price action, probably hiding behind me at the minute. Yeah, over there, kind of pushing back up again. Where did we get to in GME just now? 177.77. Boom. Low of the day, 177.77. Well, that's my own personal order taken now. Interesting. So I wonder how that'll go. I mean, that's just my one. I mean, if it got taken, that is, who knows? It might have been too stacked, too deep on the sort of the order book, for me to get it there at that 177. Who knows? But that would be nice if that was the low of the day, wouldn't it? Check that. I'll have to check that soonly. Right. Anyway, well, whenever the show's over, so that's cool. Let's just check out the AMC big old gap, or flash. Sorry, that was talked about. So it was the daily time frame. It was over here, and I guess it's where is it? Oh, we spoke about this ages back when it happened, as well. I mean, I do believe we spoke about this back when it happened. It got filled in right away, right? That's the open. Wait, that was the green. That was the open down. That didn't get filled in, right? Wait, no, it didn't get filled in. We talked about this when it happened. Yes, we did. It didn't get filled in right away. I'd kind of hoped. I think I was kind of hoping that that would be the where the prices would ultimately return to in the future. Years from now. I think was one of the ones that I'd hoped would be the case. What can I say really about it? We are looking at this indicator for realsies, to try and see if it is to hold it to account. I suppose one of the elements about it is that I didn't know necessarily, never knew, necessarily right here. We're still working this thing out, possibly at that stage. When was that? May. I would have been fairly confident. I was looking at the opening prices of the candle anyway back then, but whether or not, I might have thought, well, hey, it could be done because we came back to the candle itself at the time. I can't be sure what I was thinking at the time now, to be honest. Well, just my thoughts now on it, though, anyway, are that there it is, and let's mark it in, and we'll just be aware of it because it's there. We're in this for to learn and to perform better skills for life, etc. And if this so happens to be something that we need to be aware of, then it so happens to be something we need to be aware of. It lines up perfectly, as it happens, with the 2618 Fibonacci retracement point. That's curious, isn't it? So if we did actually go down, well, that's drawn in from where? This is from this low to this high. So that's not like the 2618 Fibonacci that people would be talking about around the world. Or does that line up with? Sorry for spending so much time on this for people who are less interested. 236 there. Yeah, 50%. Anyway. Hi Kala, how are you doing? Hi Mizzy, hi Evan, up 36% on RYCEY. Thanks, boss man. All right. Oh yeah, we're going to take a look at RYCEY. So somebody was asking what's the best entries on RYCEYs. One of the problems with this being an OTC stock is that you're going to have these kind of like liquidity issues with regards to it. So it makes it a bit tougher. This would represent, typically speaking, a sell price here, as it did, at 178, and it went up to $2 thereafter. So it's like it is overall in a sell territory thing. We've broken the highs of the previous high area though, so fantastic. And trend wise, this is really, really good. But I think it's important probably to go over to the RR chart itself. It's open, it's trading at the minute. It's got a lot less these gaps on here, etc. So stuff to be paying attention to more so than the others. These gaps, these flashes done already as well. Done, and done as well. So just making sure on that time frame. So yeah, again, as well, by the way, up here very high in terms of the RSI, etc. But we're doing great because this company's doing great. So let's just consider that to be the very bullish zone as opposed to necessarily the oversold zone. So let's just think about it like that instead. Doing great here as well. Already had a touch of a pullback so far. So we'd be hoping for this to turn into a bull flag for us to not be turning around too rapidly. Too rapidly. This translates across easy enough, you know, in the sense that it's that we can just look at the highs and lows, etc. There's a gap here on this chart, which there isn't. Which whereas over on RYCEY, there's several gaps, you know, like several along the way. So it's kind of like you just have to kind of translate the two of them across. You can see, well, in terms of the oscillators, you can see this quite extreme here, with slightly different look to it than over there on RR. Definitely, you know, more of a turning around look on the than it does here. Like, you know, between the two, the other one's a bit more extreme. So that's just to note. Nice little thing, like nice little sort of head and shouldersy sort of Williams fractal down the bottom of that back then. That was nice. If we were to pull back 130 over there, there's a gap. So, but we're still not really doing anything negative until then. What was the sort of, so we were asking about the best buy prices. So we'll take a look at that. Thanks so much. I agree with what Kim said. Here's to great days ahead. Thanks so much. What did Kim say specifically? So I don't miss that as well. Kim, here's to good days ahead. Yes, definitely. Pam, thank you. Pam, thank you. Kim, thank you. Here's to everybody. Thanks for great days ahead. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, afternoon, friends, everybody. Good morning, afternoon. Aha, back we are. Yes, we are. Everybody, it's great for you to be, it's great for me. It's great to see you. It's great, very happy, very good. Thank you so much. So likewise, we also took out the high, obviously, as we know over there on the left. Great. What we could be looking for, I suppose, just in theory, would be, well, what if this is, what if there was some, what if this could this be a 5-0 pattern in terms of harmonics, or something like that? I don't know. Don't care. We already know about the bullish divergences, etc. The 113 is where we're at the minute, where we got this inflection so far. So we've already had a significant enough pullback. You know, we've kind of moved back down 15% or something. No, 10, no, 7%, whatever it is, since that high. I'm going to get rid of this one for now. Incidentally, the 1618 etc. is back up the top of that gap. So if you were interested in where the extension points off of that are going to, you can see them in this price structure itself anyway. And just again, like we did on the other chart, just so we can see like what's 177 is where that equivalent sort of 130 zone for the 236 is. So coming down to fill in this gap wouldn't be too big a deal, so long as we kind of like, you know, we're able to find our feet in thereafter, and they would be offering up your better buy prices than where we are right now. This is of course still fairly broad term stuff, you know. Down at, I mean, like 1 hour time frame, yeah. So I would rather be buying it at 180 or 171, 180 or 170 for sure, than where it is right now. I'd rather that, but it's so easy for me to say. I'm slightly biased on this one, I have to admit, because of course I'm in a position on it, and have been since way back. So so it's different for me. Instead, I want to kind of think about how we're achieving, and if we've got more room to grow on the broader picture. I still want to. It's like it's at this stage, because we've taken it this high. It's at this stage that I want to see where we are relative to that all. And I know that this is, you know, a slightly adjusted chart because of the stock splits, etc. So it's not necessarily right, but I think it is right. 236 is at 218. Yes, we've still got a ways to go if we're just pushing on up to try that, and that's where that's 16. That'd be where 1272 is. The 1618 coming in at 250. So yeah, I'm still very bullish on this. This is nice little bit of upturn in the volume. So it's relatively speaking, without giving financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor, etc. Just kind of thinking along the lines of the 180 and the 170 for me, you know, in terms of just like trying to pick up, trying to be in a position on this one where you're chasing momentum. If there's momentum already in place, then we can kind of look to see a resurgence up here, taking out this gap at the top, just be careful about the gap that's at the top there in terms of this chart. If we were jumping around that, you know, the 197 area isn't like cheap compared to $2.05, if you get what I mean. So like so often you might be thinking when you're looking at trades, and not financial advice, and that's financial advice, but so often when you're thinking looking at trades like, oh, 197, that's much cheaper than $2.05. And in a sense, from a risk point of view, not necessarily. Buying the top of that gap right there would be more risky than buying into the momentum at pushing past previous highs. Just remember these sorts of little dynamics as you operate as a trader. So where would be the better buy prices? Well, any of these gap fills would be decent overall. So you know that's cool. Any of them, and otherwise you're looking to try and buy into momentum. It's just been negative volume today so far. Negative enough here, so you could try and chase that around, and you could also keep an eye out for, of course, the positive volume coming in here on the actual stock RR itself. You can see this 4 hour period. So today it's been negative, whereas the last couple and yesterday's were more positive. It's just that it traded negatively in the States from yesterday when it was closed in the UK until today, and followed through a little bit. We've not got that here. So good buy prices, if you're to see momentum at all, or anywhere from here up the way, you know, any in that sense, right? So just like, you know, it depends. If we're not going to go in and play this gap, then anywhere. And that with the bearing in mind that you probably want to sort of relinquish some of that at that gap, just and then recatch it again afterwards if it was easier for you to do it that way. I couldn't tell you though, matey. You've got to have to choose your own. I'm too biased in this one, I have to admit. AMC right now, how are you getting on? It's 256. AMC 37.98, pretty good. GME, I bet you never got it. 177.77. It's like 182.63 at the minute, but there you have it. Eh? There you fucking have it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's plenty of time to go, and there's also other things that we're looking at. So the idea that came in from Corey, which is drawn in from here. So there's a couple of little things that are nuances about this. It's like you got to, you know, I'm not going to debate it out too much or whatever. 786. Where's the 786 at? 7. So I'm not going to debate it out too much in terms of where you could have drawn this in from. But it is worth considering, you know, what would actually be the effect if it was down here instead, and where does that come to? It's 6.2 instead of 618. It's 6.2, and over here what we had was 6.63. So like, you know, you chose that point as it happens, but over here from where there was a more significant low on the charts, and then the B point lines up closer. 618 is now 6.2 instead of 618. Then it changes the dynamic a bit again, and this is an idea that I didn't like want to explore rapidly, but here we are, and we'll explore it while we're here. Is that you could then, of course, be looking to something like 164 instead of the 169 area, because that would be the dynamic that's at play here if this was the Gartley from that low. So we'll continue to keep our eyes on the prize with this one and keep our eyes peeled for it, of course. But this is where we are right now. So we'll wait for positivity. Like I said, you know, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I do should be followed by anybody else at any time. It's just happened to have one there, and that's all I was saying with regards to my own order. Probably not. I would really rather wait to 164 to be buying this. I would really rather. But could we turn around and could we keep that butterfly on the go? Well, we did take out this point here with our low over here, so I would be inclined to dismiss the butterfly for just now. There's the potential. No, there isn't the potential. No, it's like that's done. Yeah, it's done. So it was good to explore that yesterday when we had the chance. Right, it's 2:59. It's coming up to 9 a.m. So it's time for the news. One of the things I wanted to do in my pre-show was to get a picture up. One of the things I wanted to do in my pre-show was to get a picture up for me here to have the news. News headline. And here's the news. But I don't have that picture. Instead, I've just got stuff lying around. I tidied all this stuff up as well and everything. I wanted to have jokes with anybody. I wanted to have jokes with anybody that would joke back about how it's tidy here behind, and that's good. and stuff like that. But just didn't happen for me. Right. So news. Why hit the like button and share button and all that stuff as well. Thanks so much for being a part of what we do here. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Right. News. In the news today, in the financial world, we've got people discussing the stock future rebound after Nasdaq's worst day since March. Starting off with that negativity right up until we really did their squats today, allowing the prices of GME and AMC to drop down to 177.77 in the opening range of trading, and AMC down to 36.67 with its low of the opening day so far. So we did see that negativity carry through to today, looking to see, will we see a resurgence after having a bad day? Now, just like anybody who's ever looked outside their window when it is raining, you don't base all of your expectations for tomorrow's weather just off of being the opposite of today's. And in fact, weather reports work the other way around. They base 2/3 of like their sort of probability expectations of tomorrow's weather based purely on what today's weather is like. So we'll wait and see how today goes. We have obviously got ideas in mind with our stocks that we're looking at, but we would love, of course, to see that this is just burning itself off immediately. So you're seeing that like GME there at 181. It would be good to see closures up above 185, 190. You've got AMC here over at 37.93 at the minute. So we've dipped our toes down towards that golden pocket zone. Is it close enough? Is close enough? Or are we still descending on the way down there? The negativity is in the air. We have to wait and see how things actually will turn around for us. You've got AHT over here having dropped down below $15 today, giving great bargains for people who wanted to kind of get in on a potential trend here if we're actually seeing the prices move back up the way. Having started off today, for example, and pulled back down below the closure of the highs over here, or the opening prices, or wherever it was, the closure below the closing high price on the 13th of September, which we want to see be respected in terms of support and resistance levels. So pulling back up today would be a positive thing to see above 15.50 on the price of that one. Other stocks as well that have suffered today have been the likes of Naked, which continues to drop right in front of our eyes here. It's the 24 time frame. But if I bring up the 5-minute time frame, you'll see right here that, of course, we're pushing down the way slightly. Now, bringing up the oscillators, you can see that there is indeed bullish divergence between the lows of the 28th of September and the lows that we're experiencing right now. We've got a flash on the Rocky Outcrop DMI, but it doesn't look like we're going to get much joy out of any of that just now. We do know that there is, of course, a period where it was kind of ended towards the end of the day yesterday. It's just kind of floating along sideways without anybody really hitting the buy or sell button. This is about that volatility. So moving on with the news on that front as well, we've got somebody out there in the world who really, himself says that he does not like to sell his stocks when there's volatility. So we've got that volatility in the market right now, and Kevin O'Leary is talking like this about it. He says, volatility, I don't love it, but when it does happen, it lets me readjust. I don't sell my stocks when there's volatility. I try to find opportunity in it. Well, that's kind of what we're hoping to see, is opportunity knocking with regards to the stocks and the volatility they're having right now. With regards to Naked, then, therefore, on that bigger picture, in terms of opportunity, this retest that we're experiencing just here, right now, with regards to the pullback down towards this gap, is a nice buying opportunity should we see the prices want to maintain this sort of sovereign island that they have up here. Of course, now opportunity would knock then with a retest down a bit lower and a bit lower again if we were to be sort of moving rapidly towards filling in these gaps. If there is any sort of bearish momentum to carry through from the day before, are we going to see that surge, that resurgence, following on from the worst day in Nasdaq's history in the last 3 months or whatever it was? Since March. Now or not. So that's interesting. We're also seeing a lot of other stuff out there in the world. Are there any marijuana stocks on US exchanges good buys right now? And it's one of the ones that we wanted to look into ourselves. We've got the likes of CGC, TILRY, and CRON that are getting mentioned in there. Now, TILRY, TILRY, TILRY is the ticker TILRY. That's one of these NASDAQ stocks. So obviously, yesterday's price action looking actually towards the close of the day, looking not so bad. Today's price action won't on down again. Not looking so hot, but are we got one of these Kevin O'Leary opportunities or not on the go? This type of movement here, where we came back down and refilled in this gap previously. If you're looking at this sort of price action for education purposes, and you see the 22nd of September up to the highs on 23rd, back down again, filling in the gap on the 24th of September, and then retesting down here. This giving you that feeling where maybe you think, oh, we got a triple bottom or something. Many different ways of looking at that price action back then, but people would have had their eyes on a couple of different things. One of them as well being a descending triangle in here, which then resurged back up the way, giving you that, oh, we maybe we're moving towards the top side. Maybe the range for expectations are like 1239 down to 1165, giving you 129 move. Well, we went up there from 186 up to 1220 and didn't get that full range of that move. People probably anticipating more. Bear in mind market structure, putting in lower highs, coming up here probably to an 886 Fibonacci retracement before actually continuing on down the way, resulting in what's actually just been lower highs and lower lows along the way of what's been a trend. So this is bringing us on this 5-minute time frame in towards negative price action, which expressed on the 1 hour time frame is a movement to come back down anywhere above this zone, offering up a decent retest of the lows before you potentially turn around at the end of a big movement in market. So just looking back at the chart here, you can see this has been a big movement down the way with regards to TILRY over the long course, and we're asking questions about whether or not we'll eventually see some sort of movement back up the way. At the minute, it's asking a lot. Of course it is, but can we actually do this? Take a big chunk out of some upward price movement. As you can see, my chopsticks in here completely cutting through the price action wrongly. But you can see that at any point, any of these ranges that you take is very, very, very large. We're talking multiple dollar moves, as opposed to the sort of little bits of movements that we've seen recently at the lows. So looking back between these past two lows here in the chart and seeing that we've got, yeah, indeed, we do have some bullish divergence between this low and the most recent of lows. This low over here, talking 27th July, down to the low here in the 17th of September with that bullish divergence. Coming in here with a descending wedge. Could we see a turnaround soon on this one? Well, I would like to. We've talked a lot about islands and gaps and price action in today's show so far, so there's no point in not keeping that trend going. It's definitely a day for it. Will we see then overall this thing be respected or not? Be bearing in mind that movements down past this low here at $11 could see the prices, of course, descend down to $9.60, cutting off another big chunk of the price action. As I hear it go dunk in the background, it seems to be that my stream's working okay, so hopefully that's not somebody telling me that's broken. Good one, right? So that's pretty cool. That's where we are with that one with TILRY. We're about 8 minutes past 9 a.m. in the United States. We'll be going back over to taking a look at our favorite stocks and how they're getting on today so far. For instance, GME here, and keeping our eye on the price with this one at $180 right now. The negative price action coming back in again. We really are dancing the dance with this orange line over here. Are we going to see positivity come in at some point or not? Likewise, in 37.80 on AMC, the prices so far, actually, you know what, so far I should be positive about this because we've got a green candle in the opening range of the day, having pulled back down to that 36.60 area. Pretty good overall. I mean, if you were looking at that myself at 36.63, you're probably pretty happy. Apologies if you've already done it. Cardano, it looks like on a downward trend, says Chris Sweeney coming in, and we'll do that right now as part of our news section. Why not? So in cryptocurrency land, how are we getting on? So let's taking a look at the total market cap. Bearing in mind that movements of this thing on a downward trajectory while we're below $2 trillion is very much negative. We are seeing a little bit of an upward movement over the last number of hours, so that's decent. Hopefully we get this to not turn into some sort of continuation type pattern as it looks like to be at the minute. We've got the bullish divergence, of course, in here, but we need to take out some market structure, and we're looking really keenly at $2 trillion for that right now. So as we're below $2 trillion, Not super happy in Bitcoin land, but looking over at the daddy coin of cryptocurrency, and of course the charts will be somewhat similar. We're looking to see, can we take out the 42,500 region to get a resurgence up the way. We really need to be taking out 44,500, however, and I'm going to say that so many times over the next wee while, that so long as we're below 44,500, then we're going to have to be very, very nimble in terms of taking profits. But so far, could we see a little bit of a turnaround with this bullish divergence type of thing that's coming in here now? This is a low, and this is a low, and this is a higher low, isn't it? But just zooming on in a bit here so we can see where the closures were, the body candles. Yeah, here we have it. There's a closure there that's lower. That was higher, but there is a bit of that bullish divergence on the go there. Really, it's the question of, can we, having not really pushed right into the bearish control zone here, having come up and tested the bullish control zone, and then found ourselves at the neutral line, can we push up and test 44,500, which would be probably most likely coming in for the 60 to 65 point on the RSI, and then try and push up and take out some of these market structure areas and take out some of the RSI areas and get into the bullish control zone to get that changing conditions on the 1 hour time frame. Not asking for super amounts. 4 hour time frame, obviously, here we have it bearish, moved up the way, come back down. This is all, bearish at the neutral line, failure to take it out, movements up towards the top zone most likely result in continuation towards the downside. So really it's not looking that great. So that's why we've got our eyes in terms of the short-term movements towards 44,500, and then really question how we're doing in terms of, are we changing things around? Because as we look up again here on the daily time frame, you can see that we're at the point where we've actually come in and changing conditions, if you will, with the movements that we had in July, bringing us into positivity again. And then, of course, we came to the bearish control zone, and we're seeing, can we get this to turn around? So broad term structure on the daily time frame, we've done what we needed to do, time to turn around. 4 hour time frame, hey, we had to sail close to the wind. If we fail to turn around here, then negativity does ensue, as you could tell from the other time frame as well, the larger one. 1 hour time frame, right now we're starting to see the changing conditions. So the concertina effect here is showing us that we could have that resurgence up the way. Just going to have to pay keen attention to how things are getting along the way there for us. So here we have Cardano USDT, as was requested to take a look at by Chris. And first off, did we ever fill in this flash on the Rocky Outcrop DMI? Looks like we didn't. Is that correct? It looks like we didn't. So close, but looks like we did. Did we? Did we, or did we not? We didn't. We didn't. So we still have the potential, and you're right, like in terms of the story. So I'll just revisit that with bearing in mind that we just looked at the total market cap, which is all of the market caps of cryptos combined. Then, and we talked about the major points we need to see things moving past. We talked about, and that's the 236 Fibonacci. Then we talked about Bitcoin and the major point we need to see it moving back, and that's past. That's the 382 Fibonacci retracement. All we've done is the 382, and that's typical during trending moves. We have had a change in conditions on the RSI and the bigger term timeframes, but we need to see that find its feeting now, or the 4 hour time frame, which is hinting that we could be kind of suffering, is going to sort of drag the bigger time frames down with it. And then the 1 hour time frame, which is trying right now to get that resurgence, would not be enough to push against that tide. So the over here on the 1 hour time frame on the we've got a flash that was up there. It's not being filled in, but prices got so gosh darn close to it, makes you wonder. But we're actually running this thing at a sort of to the exact penny type of thing, being super strict on it in terms of like, does this indicator give you a move to within 95% of that price or higher? Yes. We're actually basing this mostly in terms of our research off the back of this thing off of 100% exact. So it's pretty intense, but this I would say, if in a world of other people's indicators talking about other things, I would normally say that was enough to have been filled in, but we're being stricter about things. This low here, look at the low. The low that came in was followed up by another one, but over here we actually got upward movement. So this is showing us that there's actually been positivity, and this is bullish divergence that caused this to this point. So we can put this into the context then to see, well, how good is this compared to where we were recently? And the way that you do that most commonly and sort of proficiently is to draw in this Fibonacci. And then you say, well, look, the prices are below the 236 at $2.11. This bullish divergence has brought us up to the overbought territory in terms of the conditions of the RSI as they stand. Therefore, so long as we're below the 236, I expect to see just further continuation towards the downside. However, we do have a flash up here, and we do as well know that taking out the 236 could see things turn around, which we are potentially about to see or not see on this time frame with regards to the Rick and Morty lip type formation of the at the end here of the DMI, with the DI positive just clinging in there with its fingernails to say we want to turn things around. We want to go up the way, but obviously the dynamic that we have with that concertina, we know that if things actually do sort of move down the way in that 4-hour time frame, overall, that we're looking at that negativity, and of course that would be that failure and that movement. 4-hour time frame on Cardano. The last time we had a flash was over here. That's dealt with. The movements up the way, yeah, we didn't fully change conditions in terms of RSI. We are back here, having not made continuation as yet. Movements down the way, we'll see that continuation. You'll be looking for that. Movements up the way, then we're looking to ride this wave up. You've got $2.11 price there. Anything between that, I mean, buying it now and counter trading your own argument of it's being bearish puts you in a really sort of confident position if you get any bullish engulfing candle compared to our previous one. So, then you're like, oh, great, that was the right decision. But you need to immediately manage your risk then, because, of course, it wasn't the right decision, because your TA that's it stands is correct. So that's that kind of compromise between TA and actual execution. It's up to you to make your own decisions on that one. Does it look bearish? Sure, it does. Does it look like it's got the potential for this to just be a higher low, having come in to finish off our trend? Yes, it does. But what are the implications of this if it pushes on lower? Well, then that's gone away, and then you can think of the sort of the salivation that would happen of the Pavlovian shorting dogs here that are looking to see this thing push on further down and where it could go to thereafter. Absolutely worth bearing in mind the risk in this zone. I'd like to be bullish in the market, so I'd like to be bullish on the market. I would like to at least test that 44,500 in Bitcoin, test that flash, and see how things goes. That's how I'd like to play it. But I just manage my risk, and it's either or. So 17 minutes past 3. Normally we'd be tuning out fairly soon. I'm going to keep things going a little bit longer on today's show because of the technical difficulties and the way that the show went. But we're also got other news. We did check in with one or two of those weed stocks. I've kind of just moved off because Chris requested the TA, and then we'll keep going. Those we had TILRY, Kronos, and Canopy. So Canopy is CGC in here. Let's just bring it up. Yep, big negative moves here. Can we get the conditions to turn around on this one? It's until they haven't. It is what it is until it isn't, right? Or to the full phrase that I normally say, it is what it is until it is what it isn't. And it is right now. So we'll be patient on this. Could you get this to turn around? Yeah, you could. You totally could. You totally could. I mean, there's just a touch of it. Actually, I would say that this is a buy right now, because managing your risk on this one, it's it falls off a cliff, right, for a chunk all the way down the way. So super buy in terms of like the market structure here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it's a buy. So you can just think about it along these sorts of lines where as soon as you're taking your risk into like, yeah, okay, look, this is dodgy territory. I'll just not bother taking that risk on. You're presented with huge risk reward trades, like huge ones. So take this down to where we are right now, and a movement towards something like the 236 ends up with a 475, 4.75 risk to reward, which gives you one of those typical, for what I talk about is that I prefer trades which turn out to be a 5-to-1 risk to reward. If you're looking at a 5-to-1, then the chances are, somewhere in around there's probably a pretty good trade on, if you've got your TA based on that correctly the rest of the way. So there was also Kronos group, or whatever they're called. Got this here, bullish divergence at a double bottom. So yeah, same sort of story. Is that a positive cross coming up? No, it's not. It's a negative cross that's just happened. Sorry, on the DMI, it is above 20. It's not above 25. It was above 25. Oh, it was right below 25 when they crossed. Yeah, so you didn't get that sell signals perfectly, so to speak. You've got this flash in here, not quite done as well. This is the Cardano-esque with this flash, unless I'm reading it wrong. It is harder to read on the when you've not got the candles, but in that right. So we came up close, but no cigar. So you're looking at 635. That's a nice move. Giving you 10% nearly movement here's for you for a flash where you'd be able to take a third of your position off. I'm not a financial advisor, and that's financial advice, but that's what you'd be looking at. In terms of like these sorts of points of view where you're talking about investment and long term, I don't really care about that type of attitude. Right, so artificial intelligence, just wanted to show you this picture. I think the picture is pretty awesome. I'm not going to base any sort of investment decisions purely at Googling what companies do and seeing whether or not they've got artificial intelligence in their name, like this article kind of suggests that you would. We've talked about Kevin O'Leary as well earlier on, so it's time to get around to that GameStop news that everybody's been waiting for. And the SEC has indeed charged two over wash trades in the GameStop and other so-called meme stocks saga here. But it's an interesting one. It's a little bit of a fringe case. It's not right in at the heart and the guts and glory of the short squeeze scenario. This is not going to be a catalyst for anything. It's a couple of guys that have been doing wash trading. You've got Suyun Gu and Yong Lee, and they're taking advantage, so to speak, of market taker, maker taker model. Now, what this really boils down to is that there's a rule out there that you're not allowed to trade with yourself. It's quite simple. So if you put on a limit order, say the price of a stock is $1, and you put on a limit buy order at $1, and then you come along and you sell a stock at $1 to that person, and you're taking from yourself. So on the first side, your limit order is a maker, so you're making the market by providing liquidity there, and the person on the other side of that, who's supposed to not be you, is a taker, and therefore they should pay fees, and those fees should then therefore go to you. So there's a simple rule that you're not allowed to. It's just a simple rule that covers all scenarios where you're not allowed to actually trade with yourself, and doing so is like wash trading. And there's a way of kind of moving the books around, and it can actually lead to liquidity issues for other people, which then create them being stopped out of their position, which then cascades a problem. And this wash trading environment is something which is very illegal. And it's the sort of thing that, for instance, a lot of crypto exchanges have had problems with themselves doing, conducting nefarious activities. With wash trading, a lot of the activity in the market is wash trading, and a lot of market activity in the world is wash trading. Really, it's kind of, a lot of it comes down to whether or not you're doing it like these guys to be able to exploit the maker taker fee difference as in your position as market makers. So you really ought to not be able to actually come out with a net positive doing this, though, because as it's explained here, the people on the other side of the fee pay a take fee. Make fees are typically smaller than take fees, with market makers pocketing the difference. So you would need to be in a position here to be able to obviously pocket the difference and conduct that trading activity to then, of course, be wash trading. And then there you have it. And that's what's going on with these guys, and they've been charged as such. Now, does this necessarily mean that they were doing anything which is like, going to result in fundamental changes to the market? No, not at all. This isn't like this isn't even as big a story as whether or not Ken Griffin lied. To be honest with you, it's not as big a story as that. What story are you talking about, Rocky? Well, it's this one right here. Citadel Securities issues a response to Ken Griffin lied. The Twitter trend. You might have seen that recently. It was trending on Twitter that Ken Griffin lied. That hashtag right there. It was pointed out in the Discord when it was number 3 on Twitter, and we were discussing it at the time. Does Ken Griffin even use Twitter? And the cockroach said at the time, "Well, I don't even use Twitter, and I know." So I dare say that he probably knows that he's trending on Twitter. Trending on Twitter is like different to what you just didn't get that message that somebody tweeted at you. This is something big. So then Citadel actually responded to it, and it's fairly significant in a sense what they said. Now they're being maybe choosing the right words to avoid saying something that's not true, so that semantics might actually mean something here in this. But the response to it is this: Citadel Securities did not ask Robinhood or any other firm to restrict or limit its trading activity on Jan 27th. Citadel Securities was the only major market maker during this time that provided continuous liquidity every minute of every trading day. Of course, their biggest customer, Robinhood, stopped asking them to provide that liquidity. You know, so semantics, right? On January 27th, Citadel Securities executed extraordinary 7.4 billion shares on behalf of retail investors. That's, it is extraordinary. 7.4 billion shares. Now, it's interesting as well to note that, of course, there's not 7.4 billion shares of GME. We're talking about a lot of shares of different companies now. For instance, there's AMC, but on January 27th, AMC wasn't like traded with sort of 10 times its float numbers, I don't think. So it's an interesting one. They did do an extraordinary amount of volume then on that day, though, across the sort of meme stock world. Ken Griffin and Vlad Tenev have never met or spoken. Now that's totally believable. I think there are photographs of Adam Aaron and Ken Griffin hanging out together, though. And Ken Griffin and Adam Aaron both together own a SPAC, or tried to set up a SPAC, or are currently doing so. I'm not too sure what the current status is of it, to try and buy Lamborghini, right? So they wanted to buy Lambo. So so he knows people, Ken. He just seems to not know Vlad, because Vlad grew up as a poor potato porridge eater in Bulgaria, apparently. So maybe Ken Griffin doesn't hang out with that character. Maybe Ken Griffin looks at Vlad Tenev and gets confused and thinks he's Roaring Kitty, so doesn't want to like hang out with him at bars and stuff like that. Who knows? Whereas it's easy to tell Adam Aaron, he's a big fat guy. When asked whether Citadel Securities requested Robinhood to restrict trading, Ken Griffin truthfully told Congress, "Let me be perfectly clear, absolutely not." So they're pitting themselves against each other in a sense, but then at the same time, they're just choosing their words wisely. It's pointed out here that doesn't say that they didn't ever write to each other. They could be pen pals. They're not. They've never met. They've never spoken. But they could be pen pals. It's the same way. It's like you've been talking to a girl on Tinder. So imagine Ken Griffin is talking to Vlad on Tinder, and somebody like Keith Gill comes in and says, "I don't think that there's good relationship here between Ken Griffin and Vlad, and that they'll probably not last long term." And somebody could say, "Why?" And he could say, "Well, because they've never met and they've never spoken." And you was like, "Oh, right, okay." So it's maybe like that. You really need to meet at some point for it to all sort of be a real relationship, even if it's just So maybe it's just sort of maybe they sext each other and stuff through email, but they don't actually meet up. That sort of thing. That sort of thing. Not saying they do, of course, not saying they do, just kind of analogous. The SEC GameStop report is yet to be issued. And that's key for us here. So let's tie in these two news stories together and bring us to the end of the news section. That, of course, the SEC charging these two wash traders, and, of course, Citadel responding to the Ken lied thing. We're still not at the end of the road with regards to the GameStop the SEC investigation, which Gensler said would be out by the end of summer. And by jingles, I'm seeing a lot of orange leaves out there. Let me know how you're getting on in New England in the fall. It is supposed to be beautiful. And back over to Stockland again. GME 182, not bad. AMC 37.98, not bad. AHT over here 15.26. I mean, yeah, it's bad to be here, but it's not bad again. So it's not as bad as it otherwise could be. But we are seeing red candles there. AMC's got a green candle in the day. Positivity, but that's rich, of course, having put in the lows of the last month so far today as well. So it's like operating there. So it's a time to be using white candles on your chart, I would suggest. in a sense, or at least get embracing that ideology. Here we are looking to see, will we get resolution on GME with movements towards this Gartley thing, or will it just abandon ship altogether on that one? I would much prefer that it did, but the lack of bullish divergence, for example, between the points here that we're seeing, today and over there on the 9th of September is kind of a little bit crap. And when you consider the XAB type movement, or X, pardon me, the high, pardon me, of that butterfly thing would have been is the way that this works is by saying that the movement here between the 1st of September and the 16th of September is a lower high. That that 16th of September is a lower high, and that's significant and important. Right, so that's where we stand with those ones. And other stocks then we haven't looked at so far today. AMAT, boom, it's done it. So that was going to happen. We talked about it. It happened. So it's happened. Right, great. Great, cool, excellent. That's more work. That's more success for the Rocky Outcrop indicator. We had this flash over here. We talked about how we're looking for this to be done, how it hadn't been done there at 133. So over here at 132, yes, to the bigger broad term story, I do expect in the long run that $10 AMC flash will be filled in the future. I do. I think that there's currently, I think according to the statistics that we're putting together as a community, there's a greater than 90% chance that will happen. In fact, there's a greater than 95% chance that may happen. Now, we're yet to fully figure out the system, the figures on all this. We have actually got people who work in the field of statistics and science and everything, engineers and everybody looking at this at the minute. Please do continue to come forth with your suggestions and your research on it. But yet again, that's been done. MMAT over here are still doing well on the way to potentially doing this big harmonic. Ultimately, there's a DMI flash on the 4 hours. Could there be a return to 335? That was in around about these prices here on the 4-hour time frame. So yeah, it's this flash here, and we're still asking questions about it. Let me just double check that we're looking at. So 4-hour time frame. And this candle here, just here. So, yeah, so it's never been done yet. It's not the candle of the departure point, though. This next one seems to have opened up at the price that it closed at. So this is one for the candle investigation, the Rocky Outcrop Flash investigation squad, I suppose, in a sense, is that. Obviously, this is where it would open up. No, what am I talking about? God, you'd think I was high or something. Right, yeah, but it opened up right at it. So when that happens, does that diminish it in any way? I don't know. You'd expect it to. You'd hope it would, sort of, and that. But it it's right at it. I don't know. Is it worth pointing out? Maybe it is. If we do have a target in mind at the minute, there's two of them. I'm not blindly trading this off the back of the flash right now. At the first off, we're above the 382. We're doing well. Have we got bearish divergence on the go? Yep, we do. Yes, we do. So, you could look to this to be going down. If we go down past 590, then I'm trading it down to sort of 490. So there's $1 to be had here on this if we do drop down the way. By the same token, I'm looking up to 789 as my next target on this one. Ultimately, I do think still seem to think that we'll get a return at some point to 335. Here is BlackBerry. I'm not seeing in here in the chat. Somebody can send me if there is any that they are. If I've missed any, if anybody is asked for me to do things and I've missed them, let me know. Okay, thanks so much for that, if that is the case out there. We all love work around here. More work, please. What's that? What's that we talking about? Kind reminder that it's almost 3:30 BST. That is absolutely right. Thank you, Banana Fridge. We're supposed to be tuning out, but I'll be doing that soon. Good news segment, that. Thanks so much. Heading down at the office for the first time in 3 months. Wow, Sal. Oh, thanks so much for being here, though. Anyway, really great. Kieran, I did extras too. Wait, talking about the squats? I did 12. I'll be heading on the road to work soon too. Oh, have a good day, Sal. Have a good day, Pam. It's great. Thanks for tuning in for me in the morning. Love seeing you here. Me, I have BB, says Chris Sweeney. Well, let's take a look at your old BlackBerry here. It is amazing to think that they're a company still at all, what with BlackBerries being utterly crap. They were cool, for a while back when, I don't know, like whatever, got over that pretty quick. As a phone and all the rest of it. Add me on BB Messenger. Shut up. Right. So where are we here? And thanks. Yeah, we are past the time. I will be tuning out soon, I suppose. If anybody wants me to take a look at anything, if you want me to take a look at anything, by the way, what was it that somebody asked for yesterday? I should really be taking a note of these things. Really should be taking note of them. Jamie's been taking a note recently, but like, what was it that somebody asked for yesterday? Amber asked about some particular stock. It was up high near a gap. Might have turned around, might not have turned around. She was looking to buy into a trade, that sort of thing. She'd be like, kind of revisiting these things and seeing how they went. Oh, I was supposed to be doing my thingies. I've just been doing TA and doing news. Maybe I'll just have to kick them. We'll just do them. We'll probably just do them tomorrow. Might play one. I'll play one now, but I'll do at least one of them now. I'll do at least Stally and maybe one other one. Stally and maybe Sauce Foodcart, actually. We'll do Stally and Sauce Foodcart to bring out the end of the day. If anybody wants me to do a look at any, actually ditching this now, if anybody wants to take a look at any stocks, do a super chat or a donation, some other method, some method of paying me. Otherwise, I'm going on with the analysis that we've been submitted to the show. So let me just bring it up because it is going to be great to do this. I'm looking forward to doing this. I've been looking forward to doing this today. So let me just go up. We'll get Stally's one first. Now, I think I had a look at this one. It was one of the ones that was worth showing for great effort, good stuff. Wonder if it worked out, and also if we can learn anything from it, because I think there may be some room for improvement, but it could be one of those ones where it's easier to sense what you're talking about than it is to articulate it. That's what I wanted to know. That's what I want to know. So I've hit the wrong button here.
Guys, it's BrewLee from Discord.
Stop. BrewLee, yes, man. Looking forward to it. Right, so open up. Here we have it. BrewLee from Discord. Take it away, pal.
Discord, looking right now at the Loopring chart. It has formed a cup and handle formation. We can take a move from the left and add it to the right. Also double check it with the Fibonacci trend baseline from the bottom of the cup to the top of the cup, and we can find it that it's 1.618 level is around our measured move.
Loving what you're doing here. Wondering a little bit why a couple of things are slightly off, and that's great. Stally, BrewLee, man, great job. So let's just bring up the Loopring chart and do this real quick. So it's LRC USDT is Loopring, am I right? I think so. And we have I don't know if my chart's any good or anything either. So like, this everything I've got here could be nonsense. I really don't know. Don't know what that is right now. Just gonna get rid of that actually. And I'll leave those two red lines on because I like the look of them. But you were saying about a cup with handle. So the first thing is, it's interesting, right? It's interesting, but I would be hesitant to say so because you've got your lip like here and here. If I saw your chart correctly, let me just kind of match what you're doing. So you've got the 1 week chart up. So this is it. So like 1 week. Ouch. So here we have the 1 week chart, and you've got this idea about a cup with handle, and it's hard to see because of this chunk here being higher. Now what you really want for a cup with handle is for your lips of the cup, and this would be where your lips are, just here at these. That's where really your lips would be, I suppose. To be higher than the price action for the previous 7 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, and it isn't, but also it's not really higher in terms of just like looking at it visually. But that's kind of shitty because if I dump down a time frame, and this is what I was meaning about and full sympathy to you for 150 efforts it took to make the video. We'll watch the full thing in a second. If you look down a time frame to something like the 4-hour time frame, then you can see that there's these peaks are a good deal higher in here, a good deal higher than the previous ones had been. Looking back, this time. Like this is where the high is. So you get this dynamic where it's like we could have a cup with handle here, and then you look at the cup with handle, and it's like, but I'm not seeing a cup with handle, right? But then you go look elsewhere, and holy smokes, maybe there's a cup with handle. So I thought this was super interesting, and that my criticism, in a sense, comes down to where and again, right? Again, this is a communication thing, because you're saying our measured move and tying it in, and you're looking at the Fibonacci extension. It's the 1618. I'm thinking this is good, but the words you're using around it are a bit like confusing, right? Because if you were to be looking for the measured move of a cup with handle, and you're kind of looking for the 50% territory, so it would be 50%. So then we'll take a line here. I'll just actually do this on linear as well. Take a line here from the high down to, I forgot I was extending these doodads. There, let me just get rid of the extend left and right, and stick it up above. Now, if you're to do just simply like whatever, there's 50%. That's kind of where we're doing. Now, if you're looking at a trend-based fib extension from, and I don't know where you drew it in from. Let's just take it from here. It's much of a muchness anyway, and down to here or so. And looking for the 1618. It doesn't tie in with the way I've done this, right? But you're looking to do this in terms of where would our measured move come in at from the cup with handle. Then what you'd be looking to is the 50% line. And where's 50%? Oh, no, that's down there. That's wrong. Nope, right. So I'm all over the place explaining that there. But you're looking at essentially when you're looking at the 1618 there, you're saying that we could go up to the measured move of the thingy, right? So I messed up with my Fibonacci extension doodads. You've got this in here perfect with the 1618, and it lines up. And perfect, right? So good job, but it's a communication thing. And what can I say, man? I mean, you're doing well to be speaking English in the first place. It's not your native language. So doing a brilliant job, buddy. I would say doing a brilliant job, but worth breaking down a couple of these concepts a little bit just to see just to see how they line up, right? Just to see how they line up. And I'm not a massive fan of the trend-based Fibonacci tool, overall myself. Just whatever. Also, little side note is you've got lines in here which are worth pointing out that are also less visible to people. You've marked in between the wicks and the bodies of your chart here. So obviously you're charting this over a period of time, and you're looking at that zone where there's that extreme volatility. Then you see this big movement that we had up through it, which instead of being a candle which got sold back into again, was a movement up. And then we've retested that area. So you've got that on the go, and you're not talking about it during this video, I don't think. Anyway, you're also talking about you're also looking at this, and you've got it drawn in like a wedge, essentially, where the handle would be. And like, fair enough, right? Because that's how these things often work, like bull flags or wedges or something. But you've got yours drawn in essentially the way that it pans out, because you've got it like that, is it draws it in like this. Right, so you've got your wedge here, and if I just pop this over here, then you can see that your wedge is like more or less as well the size of the measured move of the cup with handle. So we're talking about chunks of volatility where you're getting ranges which operate with a certain degree of similarity, which I think is worth pointing out. I'm doing this on the spot, but I'm seeing what you're looking at, and I'm thinking this is what this dude's looking at, because if you add this movement on for the wedge, and you just add that then again on to the top side, then where's it going to take you into? And it's up towards that 1618. It's up towards, it's up towards it. Now, it's not lining up perfectly anymore, but you're talking about chunks of movement which are similar to each other in terms of the ranges of volatility and where prices can go to in these extreme movements. And you're also bearing in mind about the wicks and stuff. And I think that you're doing a good job. It's a case of the articulation that somebody else looking as well. I think it's worth exploring this for a while, because somebody else looking at what you've done might not see what I'm seeing in what you've done, and think that's wrong, but but at the same time, I don't think that you're thinking wrong. I think you're thinking correctly. It's really feckin' tough to book one of these videos together. So that would be my interpretation of that. But tell me if I'm wrong to say that you're right. or whatever. But that's the way that we'll handle this one, and I'll let you kind of carry it on through now here.
Also, what we can do right here is take our Fibonacci's and measure our Fibonacci, all-time Fibonacci low to all-time Fibonacci high. We can see that we are past 0.618 retracement, and
so you're at this point, because you've got your Fibonacci low to high, you're saying that we're at the golden pocket, we're past the 618, so we could see movements further down south, but we're at the golden pocket here, which is a great time for things to turn around, you know. So it's like a real key zone. This is a key zone for the pricing, and you've got that one in. The next thing that you're about to go on to do is you're about to draw in a Fibonacci just slightly wrong, and you're right because you correct yourself. So we'll just watch as you correct yourself.
we can see that we just hit
In a minute.
0.786 retracement on this cup and handle formation. I don't know if I'm measuring this right, because probably not. Maybe this one should be more precise.
So good one. Thinking about what you're doing at the time and being and critical of yourself. Couple of little points that I would make is that first off, it's wick to wick. You want to be going wick to wick. Very key. Now, another thing that I would say is that you are looking at the weekly time frame, and despite the fact this is a wick, I'd be very curious as to really from this high, this one, the higher of the ones, is the more extreme point. It's probably more representative of the measurements in the market, and likewise towards this low here on the left of those, which is the extreme low. So this would be the one to use. This is between the May and June, as opposed to the one that you've actually used there, which is between January. I think between January and the other ones. I think the other ones.
So yeah, that's that. And for a confirmation about this trade, we should go to the 1 hour chart. And on our 1 hour chart,
it's frustrating, isn't it, man? With the moving things around.
We have found this formation and bullish divergence. That means RSI is higher.
And you did great, but this was obviously a couple of days ago now. Let's just check when this was. 26th. We're the 29th now. So how did that actually go at the time with this 1 hour time frame? And it's being a bit of a bollocks, isn't it? In the sense that you were looking over here at this low, what happened afterwards, and fantastic job in the sense that, look, nice solid move. Where you're at in this time is just moved up to, let's see, 36, and the high was in at 38. So you were in at this point just here at 36 and thinking that we could get further moves up the way. And sure, from that low that we got at your time of making your video, it still went up another 5%. But ultimately, we've come on down further. And what we're going to see here, we're going to probably see another dose of bullish divergence. It doesn't actually look like it. No, it's kind of, obviously versus the main impulses down here, this big drop down. And then to where we are now, there's bullish divergence. But this little volatility in between here seems to have like tripped it up in terms of giving us not quite the thing. But it's like that's the low and that's the low. And it's the 1 hour time frame that's doing that. It's kind of being deceptive to you. 1, 2, 3 down the way. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is yeah, it's that dynamic. It's just that dynamic. It's the same dynamic, but it's there's that turnaround there. I mean, besides just to remove that from your point of view, and you're looking and saying, so long as we stay above the sort of the bearish control zone, etc., we're in this zone, we're trying to figure it out, and then movements away here could shoot things up a lot quicker, because we've already kind of assessed like the big chunks that you're getting in terms of movement.
Lows and price action is lower lows. Also on the MACD, this beautiful formation, 1, 2, 3 touches, 4 time it's reversal. Let's go to the moon. And I want to tell also Rocky that this is really hard. I'm recording this like 150 times. It's the last one. Cheers.
Really appreciated. Thanks, man. That was really good. The MACD signal cross, to me, I don't like it that much, but you're very right. And I don't doubt for a second that should we add them back on, we'd get yet another one just here giving you that. Let's go. Let's go to the moon. It's taken a couple of days longer. Why not? You know, managing your risk here, you'd still be in the trade whenever you've taken it over the last wee while, because this is because you're not got past that kind of cut off point yet for that one. So good job, man. I do feel like you will benefit from refining your language and you know, but it's not about presenting it to other people. I would have a little like chat in terms of like whether or not you'd seen the cup with handle from within the context of the rules. I dropped down a time frame and it then worked, but before it didn't, and I don't know if where you were on that one. But you can see the contrast there in terms of like in terms of how it's put together and thinking about things. So that was great. Well done, man. I'm proud of you. Um, and then let's let Sauc'd finish off the show for us today, everybody. And by the way, thanks to everybody for tuning in and all the rest of it. And be prepared to do these things yourself. I really do appreciate people trying. Do be prepared. I'm going to read the chat here actually for a second. Before going into this one, let me know what you're thinking and what you're saying, everybody. With regards to what Stally did there, what do you think? Could you do as good a job as Stally? Did you notice the discrepancies there? Could you do it? BrewLee there in the Discord. Could you do it? Would you do it? Will you do it? And actually, forget all those questions. The only one I really want to know is why haven't you done it yet? The only one I want to know. And don't tell me the answer to that, because whatever you're telling me is in terms of if you actually try and answer me, that's a rhetorical question. Don't answer that question. Just do it. I get it, right? I know that it's hard. I know that it's hard. I know it is. But be confident. Don't be confident because you need to be confident. Be confident knowing that you're in amongst a crowd of people that really, really, really do want the best for you, and the best for you is not ridiculing you whenever you've tried to put put yourself out there. It's not shooting you down. That's not what we want, right? We want the best for you, which is everything. So all around, right? And opportunities as well. If somebody is willing to risk being wrong, you know, that's good, because it'd be nice to say, hey, you're totally wrong for these reasons. Too, you know, it's useful. It depends. People are not necessarily up for that. And we'll bring up Sauce Foodcart one as well here. By the way, if anybody does want me to do any TA on anything that they're trading, to honestly, I'll probably help significantly with your profitability, then let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to stick doing with what I'm doing, because, you know, this is good. Did I hit like on Stally's video? Because I blooming well hope I did. I didn't. Thanks, man. Really great. Cool. So this one here, yeah. Been looking forward to watching this. I've watched half of it already. I've not watched half. I've watched 30 seconds of it already, and I knew that I had to watch this with everybody together.
Hello, friends.
Hi.
Dinosaurs, apes, Rocky.
Hiya.
Whoever might be watching this. Today, I would like to do something a little bit different. Rocky actually asked me directly, personally, very politely, to do some TA for him. And,
please.
I don't usually do that. I usually just cook. But, you know, friends gotta do what friends gotta do. So, I'm doing this. I hope it goes well. Please be gentle. Today, I am going to do a technical analysis of a very little known stock called Gamestop. If you've heard about it. It's kind of on the up, but we'll go over it. Right. Yeah. So, let's just get into it, shall we?
Let's get into it.
Here we are in the 15-minute chart. You can see we've got a happy caterpillar, Adam and Eve, all the good indicators to tell you that this stock is on a move, and it's going. Of course, we are looking at it at the 15-minute time frame. That's where all the smart investment traders use to really plot their course of action for the next, 10, 15 months. It's good. It's a good time. Good place to look. As we're looking at this, you can see kind of from the indications here that we could see some retracements along the week, quite possibly down to the 369, possibly even to the 666 Fibonacci, but we'll burn those bridges when we get there.
Hold on a second, though. We'll burn those bridges when we get there. The chart, the time frame today, probably, and then we're naked, lol. Says the stickman. We're NAKD, lol.
But
burn those bridges when we get to them.
However, I did notice some interesting things when I zoomed out to the 4-hour time frame. So let's take a look at that together, shall we? Now, as you can clearly see from this chart, the prices could go as low as 160 this week, and that is a great entry point. It could also go as high as the 222 to 222 spot 22 mark. That's also great entry points. Really, the entire thing is just great entry points. You should just enter. And don't worry about selling. We'll do that later. Of course, if we zoom out further to the 1-day time frame, you'll see some very good explanation for the predictions that I made. As you can see, we've been trading this way for the last 4 months, and we'll probably continue trading this way for the next 4 months, or year, or however long it takes. But the good news is, eventually it's going to go up. Thanks. Now, I can hear some of you saying out there that this is basic trading strategies, and I'm not showing anything new. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to turn off all my indicators. I'm going to turn the color to white on everything. White candles, white RSI, white TMI, and when I did that, I think you'll see some very, very interesting developments in our beloved stock. Do you see what I'm looking at? I see what I'm looking at, but do you see what I'm looking at? Pretty sure those Lambos are coming any day now. Well, that's all the time we have. I'd like to thank Rocky for asking me to do this. I'd like to thank you for watching this. Most importantly, I'd like to thank Miller High Life, my sponsor for this video. God damn, that's some good shit. Okay, bye.
Okay, so there may never be another TA video quite as good as that one, right? So for anybody who's got any sort of angst about putting up their own video thinking, oh, I really want it to be the best, time to let go of that ambition now, my friends. That is just too good. It'll never be beaten. So embrace it. Embrace it. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sauc'd. That was wonderful, wonderful stuff. And that brings us very, very neatly over to the end of the show. So that's us. We've done it. We started off today with a show that lasted nearly an hour or half an hour, something like that. Something like that. I don't know. Ask Sauc'd. He's good with the times. And then it broke. And then we were able to come back and do the tears of laughter. Then we came back and we were able to do the show. We had a news section which was fully integrated with the charts, bit of fun there, kind of mixing things up a wee bit, and tried to deliver the quality content as well. We got asked only by one person to do any TA today. which is a bit of a shock to me. So let me know if I have missed anything in the chat here before I go. Also need to have the first 10 bingo balls assigned. The way that it works is, and I should have said this properly clearly earlier on, is that I'll be doing bingo stuff and I'll be using just balls number 1 to 10 initially. And we're going to name all 90 balls with tickers eventually. And then we're going to keep them like that permanently, forever on the show. Unless there's some significant material change. So as a result, there only is space for 90 tickers ever. And if you want to have your one on there, this is across everything. Crypto, stocks, forex, whatever. It's across all of them. And it's not just like USD and then I'll look at USD versus certain things. No, it's like it's specific pairs, specific trading pairs assigned to certain numbers, and we're doing the numbers 1 to 10. So if you want to have your stock in there, then you need to get its name on there somehow. Now, we're going to name all 10 of them, and we're going to do it over the period of a couple of weeks. And, okay, Lepton, just a second, I'll get around to that. And the way to do it, Jamie might have already explained the chat, is I think that it's like that you got to, that it's, what we were talking about was an orange donation or more. You can see Lepton's one's yellow just there, by the way, as an example, not green, etc. If you're looking for like proper orange and more, gets you to name a ball, right? So Chris Sweeney, for example, would have been able to do one earlier on and say, I nominate Cardano. Then we'll get 10 nominations over the period of the next couple of weeks, and the ones that have got the biggest sort of support, so people can add to it. Somebody could be like, I want Cardano in that in there, and so that we'll do it. And then for the next week afterwards, we're only using those balls. So Lepton's a quickie on SLGG, if you please, right? If you want that to be in there, for instance, then they'd have to be in there, because otherwise we're going to go through those balls. So I'll be looking at them, and there's only enough room. There's not enough room really to do 10 tickers on the show anyway. So I've got 10 balls in the machine asking to be done, and so then it really narrows down the amount of time that we left for anything else. So it's that. So then if somebody else says I want Cardano to be on it, somebody else says no I don't, and they bid something else up, and you'd need to have $25 for Cardano to be on there. Then somebody else chips in a $5 and says, I also want Cardano. We'll add it together, and then Cardano's on the list. That's kind of the way that I'm thinking about doing it. Obviously, this will take a lot of communication to figure out, so we'll do that with each other. So let me know if that sounds good. Some says like this. Exactly. That's it. If you want Ghosty Doomslayer Wolfie Boy, if you want to add in if you want to nominate one, you're more than welcome to. You can now. So let us know, right? So that type of thing. Then I've got a smart plug somewhere here. And then I'll be able to put it into the Stream Deck. I'll be able to push a button. It'll start the bingo machine. A ball will pop up. I'll get up. I'll walk over to the bingo machine. I'll take the ball. I'll come back over. I'll push the button. The bingo machine turns off. We look at the ball. It says number 1. Number 1 happens to be Wolfric Doomslayer Company. So we go up and look up Wolfie on the stocks and and that's how it works. And then I go and get another ball. And in 10 days' time, somebody comes into the chat and says, will you take a look at Naked? I'll say, I'm sorry, I'm not taking a look at Naked. I've got all these bingo ball things that people we're doing it this way. And if you want, you can do a super chat, and then I can redirect the flow away. Otherwise, I'm not doing it, because we're playing this game, and this is the way it's going to be, and it's fun, right? That's kind of how I'm thinking about things. Feedback, doors always open for feedback, by the way, but that's how I'm kind of thinking about doing things. And then we'll play games like with all the balls, a ticker bingo, and have fun and do fun stuff like that. And also Jamie does drinking streams on Friday nights, and maybe I'll start doing my own drinking streams on Friday nights as well, or on Saturday nights or Thursday nights or Monday nights or something else like that. I don't really know, but maybe we'll start doing stuff like that too. And then there'll be those occasions when we get to use the other stuff for more fun. Brilliant. So that's us up to speed on just noticing the shadow of my shirt. We're up to speed on the stuff we're going to do. We did a good job on the show today, I think. I'm looking here to see how much is orange. Will you set the coffee donation in place? Says KT. Probably would do, that's 20 cents. I've got I've got a patent. You've got a patent. Aha! Jolly good. Orange is $20 to get on the list. Only 10 options. So like that sort of thing, right? It's not like I'm not out here looking to freaking extort the world. It's just like that's it, right? That's it. Yeah, okay. So hopefully, actually, to be perfectly frank, hopefully the numbers go higher than that, right? Just that it's not going on for a fiver. It just isn't. It just isn't. It just isn't. It's just definitely not. So hopefully the numbers are higher than that. Right. Whatevs though. SLGG. Will GameStop buy them? Will they fry them? Will they? Oh, it's not been good for these guys, has it? So let's review. Running down here, there wasn't really any bullish divergence. When we got to our lows, there also wasn't any bullish divergence versus any of the previous ones. Then we came up and there was hidden bearish divergence in this high. Then we went down again and it's just not been good for this one. It's been crap. Then we had positive earnings, but you know, what did fundamentals ever do to change the prospects of a company? The greatest lie of all time is that fundamentals will help you with your investments. As you can see, negative earnings, negative earnings, negative earnings. Like fundamentals. I mean, this earnings isn't really fundamentals, but it's not technical analysis either. You know, having these things on the chart is clearly a massive distraction designed, if anything, just to fuck you more than anything else. More than anything else. Anyway, there you have it. So this is crap. It's been doing crap for a long time. It needs to stop being so shit, or else it will continue to be shit. That's the bottom line. There is a potential for this to turn around in terms of support and resistance. Like looking to the left, like going, well, we had this little area just here. So go back the way. Is it anywhere else? Well, just here where this liquidity gap was previously. Was there anywhere else as well? Yeah, just a kind of a bit. Just a bit. So it's there as a thing. Horizontal line, right where the prices are, right where the prices actually are. Shout out to the Mighty Red for having done something not too dissimilar in her one. So are we able to see things turn around in here? And I've got a nice big thick white line there. That's what she said. And this is and are we going past this or not? And so far we are. As you can see, we've obviously danced this dance before numerous times. Could we see a turnaround in this point? This area is the point that I'm trying to make. And yeah, we could, as we currently are at that line. You know, kind of. But it's real crap. Is that a gap over a gap across months? It's not. Is it? It almost was. As an unusual, there's a little unusual dynamic. It's so very unusual dynamic to see that there was a gap in here which was left on the charts and then almost filled in. Am I blind? Yeah. Almost filled in. And then almost filled in. Whoop. Then almost filled in. Eventually it got filled in. So gaps getting filled there. That's an interesting one. This gap down to not fully filled, gapped over again, then filled afterwards, just showing you that unusual dynamic. Right. Anyway, so really, where are we? Because chuck that all in the bin. Because screw all that. Right. Sweet. Let's start again. That's where that was when that was where that was then. Right. So the all-time high was an 886 Fibonacci retracement, was it? Or more? Well, obviously more, because it nearly went the whole way. And then it pulled back down the way, right? And it's now down below 236. Is it though? Is that actually true? Yeah, it is. That's true. So that sucks. So that's where this is. That sucks as well. And then does this suck just as badly? Like we've already had this one on the charts for a while now, actually already. So I don't need to draw this one in again. But here we have it, and it sucks. It sucks as well. It sucks. Then the little bit of bullish divergence we've got on the go here, this little bit, it doesn't suck so bad. It doesn't suck so bad, but it mostly sucks. The DMI at a point of turnaround, right? That's good. That's good. It turns around so often from the 40 price point here, so often. It's just that if you're looking to ride this positivity trend down, you'd need to see it taking out that zone. I mean, look at it here. Came up, went down, it didn't take it out, went up, came down, it didn't take it out, went up, came down, and then it started to take it out. Now, if we can concede that most crosses on the DMI that have got significance to them will happen somewhere between the 20 and the 30 point, generally speaking, and that when the prices have come up to 40, that they are is an area where they typically turn around at, then we know that this area here to stay in is extremely important between these two lines here in the DMI. So if you're looking to trade this positively, then I would suggest that maybe waiting to see us actually cracking down below the DM negative, down below that line, would be a good starting point. We are obviously, negative. There's a tiny touch of bullish divergence just here, but I'm not putting my house on that. There's this beautifuler, much more beautifuler looking kind of overall structure in the divergence there, and that's great to see between this low, and this low across the broad term time frame. But we need this to actually be a local low before we can trade off the back of that, given the percentage movements that you're absolutely liable to see. For example, 20% to go further, to go down to the 886. 20% is too much to take just as your retail trader trying to survive in the markets. It's irrational to enter with that type of risk tolerance. So it's just too much. Now, there are various things like the wedge here, which is essentially the entire price action over here, giving you the 1, 2, 3 touches and giving you whatever you want. Let's just even screw taking it back that far. Let's just use these points here roughly and make this rough point here to say that, oh, you could be looking at something like this. Again, you're looking for it to have the positive resurgence first, the positive movement up the way, and it hasn't got it yet, and that's where we are, and it's bollocks until such times as it isn't bollocks, right? So when this turns into a confirmed local low, and then we get the confirmed 3 points of divergence, or 2 subsequent points of divergence following on from the first low, when we get a bit more of the sort of the turnaround here and actually try to change conditions, then good. And if you're looking for a trending play over time, where if this thing's going to trend over time, then you're looking to take out our highs on the RSI and actually get into this doodah for the first time. Even if this happens here, and it would be the ideal place for it to happen would be here at around about $5. So if we can get the prices to $5, where are we now? $3. Yeah, I know. So you're looking at a sort of 65% increase or whatever it is in price to get there. So it's not exactly what you want. It's not what you want. It's so can you trade it here? Well, yeah, and what's the way to do it? Well, it's to be very tight on your risk. To be very tight on your risk. Because, like I say, movements down past that white line, if you want to draw it in, mean you're kind of screwed. So I would just manage my risk at what? 283, $3, 10% movement to the downside. Not worth it being in it any longer because it could easily go another 10. Right, that's probably worth it to somebody. I don't know, buddy. Let me know if that was it. Leptin, man, I don't know. Were you thinking about it? What are you thinking about on that one? Couldn't stop watching you if I tried at TradeSpawn. That's good that you're chatting there. I hope that you didn't take your eyes off of what I was doing specifically for you. During that, I'm sure he's just trying to keep Jamie. He's very needy, so I'm not surprised. He needs it. Jacque is having a joke. It's a long running one. Says who? Wait, what? Jacque, are you all right, mate? I have got no idea what the Jacque chat is. If it's a long running one, then great. Love it. Keep it running forever. Never break the chain. I've got no fucking idea. Might just fill it with banks. Brilliant. If this was my show and nobody had picked a ticker by now, I would have whapped the machine out the window. No joke. That's right. Pretty disappointing. Pretty disappointing. You've heard it here second, because Jamie said it there earlier on. Not disappointed in a, oh no, he's so disappointed. It's like, I'm just saying, I've said it now, I've done it now. I'm not going to beg you for it. Just fucking get involved in the game, eh? Or else I'll just fucking chuck the fucking machine out the window. Didn't spend 500 fucking quid on the thing for nothing, and then have to spend it, then 75 euros getting it shipped from Holland, and then more to fix it, and then more and and getting the bloody balls sorted, all just to just go fuck it. But hey, if that's what you want, it's what you're getting. And you'd think I'd go without doing the reverse roll calls. Well, everybody that tuned out there is an absolute idiot. Of course, I was never going anywhere. I always do these. I've done this at this end of every single show, unless, you know, technical difficulties have stopped me from being live. Since I went live, and I've been streaming live for more than a year now, so I do at the end of every show. Traceborn, thanks for tuning in. Z, good to see you. How do we pick a ticker for the balls? We bloody damn well do it, damn it. Gosh, Jesus. Sarah Restano, Restano? There you go, there's a new one. Nice one. Bless you. In the nome di Patri, di Santi, di Spiritu Santi, di nome di Patri. Sarah Restano. Now, sorry about that. Got your name wrong. So Amber, yes, great. What are you begging for, Rocky? I ain't begging for shit, Amber. You know what it's like. You just gotta, like, sometimes you gotta tell people how it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta tell people how it is. Pam the Trader, Amber, I like lunges for sexy legs. Nice one. I like sexy legs, so I'll encourage lunges every day on the show from now on. Jock Tampson Jr., I watched on Monday. Well, good. What happened on Monday? Did I do something wrong? I said something, it flicked away. Said I watched on Monday, and then it said something and I missed it. So that's cool. Trace One can't talk GME numbers during market hours. He said so on the gist. Trace One can't talk GME numbers during market hours. He said so on the gist. He has been bought. Sold his soul. Huh. What? What's going on there? I don't know how. That must be that joke that you're talking about. Given that Trace One's right next to you as you said it, I'm gonna just let it slide. If I'd have read that normally, I'd have banned it. Should I just ban him anyway? I feel like banning him anyway. When I get back down to the bottom of the chat, if people haven't told me not to ban Jacque, I'm banning Jacque. Right? Okay? Just so you know. So, honestly, if people haven't told me not to ban Jacque, I'm banning Jacque when I get to the bottom of the chat. So, somebody watching right now would need to say not to ban Jacque if Jacque doesn't deserve to be banned, because nobody comes in here and says shit about my brother, even if my brother's here, and me not ban them. What do you think this is? Fucking what? All right, Shakar, good to have you here. Captain Sinkalot, good to have you here. Pam the Trader, always good to see you. Piga, can't compete, good to have you here. Piga, Leptin, Lamau, you said earlier on, that's pretty good. David Tremblay, the dentist, woo! Somebody says that's pretty good. Whoa, ha ha ha. What's that all about? Wonder if that was something to do with me. YouTube, yeah, I wonder if that was something to do with me. That's pretty cool. I have tears. Wow. Oh man, this is so good. What? You're not talking to me, are you? Miller type. Oh, you're talking to Sauce Foodcart. Yeah, I don't get reactions like that. I knew you weren't talking to me. I knew it. Time to retire, Rocky, says Homer's Ghost. Well, you're right. And now I realize that twice. Now I've read through those messages. Phenolium, hand-drawn charts. Exactly. The best, man. He's just like the guys from back in the 1920s. For the entire lifetime of the show, forever and ever and ever, said Trace One earlier on, so that's good. See, Kazakh got his message removed. That's a shame. Not too excited about the state of things in my life, but I'm still working to make it better with 6 Miller of High Life. Da-ding, ding, ding, da-ding, ding. Nice one, man. That's cool. Kieran Norman, thanks for tuning in. KT of Charka, thanks for tuning in as ever. Carissa, it's good to see you. Katie Babes, good to see you as well. Nice one. So I'm making it down towards the bottom. You've got a limited time left on saving Jock's life. Rocky Fudding GME, also well done, lads. Time gonna tell. Oh, that doesn't look good. So right down the bottom, listed for game. That's cool. Listed for game quality. We'll put listed on there. Leptin, you've got in there. That's one of the balls. It's assigned. Theta for bingo, says Katie Babes as well. That's happening. Hexo, please, for bingo. That's happening as well. Good stuff, people. Right, great. Excellent. Nice one. All I had to do was threaten to chuck the thing out the fucking window. And eventually people decided it was worthwhile. So we've got so I'm making a note of these. Please don't ban Jacque. He's great material. I need him. I need his mom, says Sarah Steino. Sarah, you might have actually saved Jacque. You might have saved Jacque, Sarah. You might. KT, right? So there's like there's a hard list, right? A hard list and a soft list, right? I don't know how to do these at the minute. I'm gonna stick r/RYCEY in on the soft list, and then on the hard list I'm going to put in and I'll just put in it who asked for it as well, KT, just so I can remember. And then on the hard list I'll put in the ones that came in. So we've got leptin, lepton, and it was 20 USD, and he said LCID. LCID. Right, okay, sweet. That's on the list. That's going to have a number. Then Katie Babes said theta. I am drawing down the numbers just in case we get more than 10 of these over the week, and one of them loses out by a penny. And not to like be an ass about it, but so we can laugh, you know, heartily in the face of the person that put in the donation that didn't get accepted. That's why, not so I can be an ass, but just so we can all laugh about it. Then I'll end up feeling bad and do the TA anyway. You know how it goes. You've seen my show before, so so we'll do both the ridicule and the fun. Hexo from Wolfie, Hexo. Right, cool. So we have a few on there, a few definites. Excellent stuff. I'll be ending it new after I do the other one. How many C4 candy bars for the win? Hard list. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Man, it's going to make its way over there. KT, it'll make its way over there, right? The timer is wrong. No, shit. Sorry, Apple. Thanks, by the way, for doing what you're doing, Apple. Really appreciated. Honestly, always is. Everybody, massively appreciated. Shout outs to other people out there, by the way. Shout out to my freaking crazy friend, Ape Hoddle, who's crazy. He's crazy. I love him. Great guy. You know, massive shout out to him, actually. You know, good guy. Really thank you for all your help with the server stuff. So giving me an actual serious one. And also pointing out the fact that you're totally nuts. And then Der Baum as well, asking me to get on with the wiki server stuff today. Great, excellent. What's happening in this chat right now? Nobody knows Jiu-Jitsu Guy, but you're not even corporeal. Come back when you've got a body. Right. You ain't nobody, Ghost of Jiu-Jitsu Guy. Get a body, come back when you've got some physicality to you, when you've got something tangible about you, Jiu-Jitsu Guy. Until then, you know, I can't listen to what you say. I'll just phone the Ghostbusters. Wait, I need to know if the timer's been working the entire time. Looks like you didn't know you were streaming for a bit. Chapter's going to be later, folks. Buy and huddle is the shit. Great, thanks so much. Right, well, the chapter's towards the bit when I think what was it, 48 minutes? I think 48 minutes of the show is fake at the start. It's not fake, it's just I didn't know that I don't know. Maybe it's 28, maybe it's 38. It's hard to know. I think there was an 8 in there. My memory says there was an 8 in there. And I explained then at the start that I don't really know and I hope for the best. But the timer's on screen. When I hit the end button, then look, basically the way the chapters work is that the timer is there for people who are doing the video during the video. If I hit the end button, then all you have to do is hit refresh, and the times are on the time of the video itself anyway, and you can flick around. So it's a non question, but it's a good question to have because nobody knows this until it's explained. So I'm just doing that for everybody's benefit. Apple, by the way, you're wonderful. I also need to remind myself to stop pointing because pointing is rude. Don't point at people, Rocky. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Really do appreciate every single last one of you. You are my favorite people. And I'll be back again tomorrow, hopefully consistently, for a good time. Add a bingo. Oh, Sarah's in on it. Hey, look at that. Sarah. I'm going to write your surname as well, because there are other Sarahs around. Although they hate me these days. They don't turn up so much. So you're pretty unique over here at the minute, Ristino. Terrorist Dino wanted, yeah, Ada bingo, doot. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Right, quality. So right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, right, and 5 if KT's one makes it on. Wait, says Trace one. I'll wait a second. 5, so that'd be 5. So that'd be halfway there already, and that'll be our tickers that we're doing, right? So if anybody else wants me to take a look at anything outside of them, you'd need to pay. Tezos people, Tezos. How many times am I going to have to tell the Tezos people to step up, right? Honestly, Tezos is almost certainly not going to make it into that list. So just so you know, almost certainly not. Chainlink, Link Marines, right? Link Marines. I know there's at least 500 people subscribed to this channel because they want to see me do Chainlink TA. Yous are never here. You never ask me to do it, so I don't bother half the time, even though it's so good. Get in there, get it on the bingo balls, or you know what? It's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen if you don't. So just be aware. Cardano for me too. Look, Cardano is, look at that. It's doubled down. F yes, Drew's Tech, by the way. Check that out. So now Cardano's that's got a full 20. So it's at it's at 39.99. Man, Drew's Tech, so good to see you, buddy. Still got that orchid in the channel account that you donated to me back about what feels like a year ago now. Drew's Tech 20, so that's Cardano's almost certainly in there. It's in there at 39.99 at the minute. So you know, there you go. Z donated 20 if it came up on Streamlabs link, but not on screen here in chat. Oh, you did donate through the donating thing. Thanks so much, man. Let me just check here. Z D. Oh, it's happening, people. It's happening. Z Kang Z, my man Z. Right, what did you do? DMYI. Right. DMYI. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on there. Oh, sugar, we've got another one. Oh man, Drew's Tech's done Tezos. All right, so Tezos for Drew's Tech. XTZ. Drew. What was that, man? Was that another $20 you tucked in, man? That's very kind of you, by the way, people. I like Tezos though. My man, right? And Nachu is looking for VLDR. VLDR. Wow. Right, quality. Right. Excellent. Good stuff, peoples. Right, so so far this is doing well. Now it doesn't end when 10 things have been done. It doesn't end when 10 things have been done. It ends well, it's Wednesday today, so it ends maybe at the end of this week, and then it's next week. So this whole thing will keep going. You can do this throughout the show. Just remember, tomorrow and the day after, you can do this same thing. Anybody can do this. They want me to do it, whatever. They maybe be asking me to do something anyway, you know. So like, if you are asking me to do something anyway and you want it to be a bingo one, make sure you make it a bingo one. And likewise, Jamie was saying as well that you can do it like by topping up each other's things. So if somebody said, will you take a look at something, and then I do, and then somebody else says, take a look at something, and it was like $5 here and $5 there, and then I'm like, I've already looked at that earlier on, and blah 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 blah. We can add that together and give it a bingo ball or whatever. I don't really know. I'm just like, we do this together. We do this together forever. Da-da-da-da-da. Right. Much love to all of y'all, and I'm tuning out now. So okay, so we've done. Oh, Chris Sweeney's come in here with AGIX. Cool. AGIX. It's Chris Sweeney, and that's actually 20 GBP. So he's just put it into like second place. Okay, so and sort of like, at the minute, it looks like Cardano's most certainly getting a ball. Afterwards, it's going to be AGIX that's getting a ball. And then after that, it is VLDR, XTZ, DMYI, and then and LCID. And then we've got Theta and Hexo as well. That's 8. That's 8. That's 8 that we've got already. up here for this. That's 8. I ordered an old GoPro 8 second hand to use as camera on the wheel. Might be able to get similar for bingo machine and have a GoPro inside it too. Yeah, GoPro 8s. That's quite good, I think. 8. That's only like a year old, isn't it? I'm not too sure. So that was pretty cool. Duo says bye bye Duo. That's cool. Thanks so much. Blood Big Horn. Yeah, brilliant, man. Oh, Cosmic's in here. Cosmic. Hey, sup, Cosmic, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, Cosmic. He's such a great guy. Such a great guy. If you don't know who Cosmic is, he's the chap who's got his face paint on, dedicated AF with the face paint. It's always perfect. Right, brilliant stuff. Okay, cool. So, woo, drinking stream royalty in chat. Yeah, exactly. Hello, my lord. Oh, I was chatting to Cosmic last night, and was as well. Not was it last night or the night before? And I got busy, man. Sorry, and then I got pulled away, so I didn't finish the chat with you. But we were chatting as well. We were chatting about stuff. And yeah, I think that it's just I suppose what I want to say is it's cool that we're in part of such a cool community of people that we all chat with each other, and that we're all dead friendly and stuff like that. Now we were talking about GME specifically, and I don't have the right answers for him at the minute, and he was talking to me about stuff, and I didn't know, and I didn't know what to say, and I still don't know. So without giving anything away, there isn't anything to give away, because the honest truth of it is that my answer at the end of it was I don't really know. And that's cool, it's just cool that we do this sort of thing, that we talk amongst each other and stuff, and that we're friends, and this, it's just cool. It's a cool part of this community, so it's a big shout out to Cosmic there. It's never had, it's like, I don't know, maybe I needed to pursue it more or something like that when I was doing the crypto stuff exclusively, because it's cool. It's just cool. It's just cool to have somebody get in touch with you and say, what do you think about this? And me say, well, I don't necessarily know, and then to talk back and to hear what the other person thinks as well, and just to advance the conversation. It's always good, right? So shout out to them. How does the bingo thing work, says Amber? All right, okay, so you can nominate a ball, and that would be like $5 towards it, and people can like put in as well if they want to put in towards it. There's like a minimum sort of cut off of $20 to get it kind of listed as a ball thing. Then what will happen is I'll have 10 balls. They'll be in the machine, and each one of these tickers will be assigned a number from it. And during the show, I'll run the machine, and I'll go over and I'll take a ball out, and that'll be the TA that we're doing at that time on that ticker. And then we'll do it, and we'll have them, and we'll do it all the time on the show for the next week of TA. That's what it'll be. The stuff that comes out the ticker. It's like there's a 1 in 10 chance I won't always get 10 balls out of the machine, So there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. In the way that I'm guaranteed. That you're like, oh, Rocky Outcrop, what's he doing? Well, I don't know. He could be looking at anything. I mean, he might be looking at gold. He might be looking at soybeans. Who knows what he's looking at? Oil, whatever. But it could also be that you'd also say, but there's a good chance that he'll be looking at GME, and there's a good chance he'll look at AMC, and there's a really good chance he'll be looking at Bitcoin. If you want Bitcoin technical analysis, tune into Rocky Outcrop. He does it on his show every day. You could say that, even though I might also do tons of random stuff. Next week, he won't be saying that. Next week, he'll be saying that I do these 10 stocks. I actually don't even know what half of them are that are being suggested. I do those stocks. That's it. That's it. That's all I do. People can request for me to take a look at other stocks, but people can't come into the chat and say, hey, Rocky, will you take a look at Cardano for me? Well, I mean, they will be able to. Hey, Rocky, can you take a look at Loopring for me? Well, no, I can't. I've got these 10 stocks that are in this bingo thing that we're going to do. I don't have time on every show to take out all 10 balls and do all 10 of them. So there's like, that's the way it is. So if somebody wants me to take a look at something else, then they need to beat that. And that's just the way that is. It's in terms of like having it, and it makes it fun because it's kind of random and fun, and it makes it as well so that we're focused on the one set. The one set. Look at that. I'm not handsome. You're handsome. Just kidding. Thanks so much, Amber. Yeah, lovely devil. Yeah, right. So Amber, and that's $25 I'm going to put towards that, right? 25 in the sense, right? So because of how that worked, I was trying to explain that at the time, and you said AMD. Good choice, by the way. Cool, right? So that'd be cool, right? It'd be cool. Tesla could be on that list, for instance, if people wanted it to be. So, and the way that this is working is that tomorrow's Thursday, then by Friday, hopefully, you know, that'll be the end of it. At the end of Friday's show will be like the cutoff for it. And then when we come back on Monday, the balls will be decided by then. And then from Monday till Friday, that's the only things that we're looking at, unless someone specifically asked me to take a look at something with a super chat or donation, right? And then the next week we can add in more balls, and do this sort of thing, or we could choose ball ranges, etc., and all sorts of stuff like that. So all these decisions will be made with people as time goes by. But that's what we're doing. We're going to stick with that. We're going to stick with at least that basic outline of a plan that I've come up with so far, where there's a few 10 balls, just like that's all there is in the machine. So it's guaranteed that the number will be somewhere between 1 and 10, or else I'll do it in ranges, you know, so like 1 to 10, 10 to 20, and then we take the ball at machine, and that's the ticker that we do, and that's it, and that's what we do, and that's what my focus is for the show for throughout the week, unless there's something else coming in. I think that's a good idea. Let me know if you don't think it's, if you think that's it. I need to walk over to the machine and take the balls out. Yeah, the machine doesn't do balls by itself. AMD's a good one, Amber. Yes. Work that camera, you handsome devil. Driving and listening. Pam, reports are coming in that you really should be watching. Apparently there's a handsome devil on the screen, so pull over real quick and get your... Okay. And we did 12 squats today. So we did an extra one. And I remembered to try and squeeze my bottom on the way back up as well. So shout out to Sal for that one. Thank you all for tuning in. I've done the reverse roll call. We've done the bingo machine chat. We've done the chat that we wanted to do. We've done the chat we've done what we wanted to do. And I really do appreciate it. Weezer, good to see you, Weezer, mate. It's been a while since I've given you adequate amount of shout outs, because I've seen you in the chat a few times and been like, oh, I should say hi. I've not said hi. Weezer, brilliant. Eric Shaw, Sai to $90, trending. Squeeze coming. Who knows, buddy? We're out of time. It is the Rocky Outcrop show, not the Tom Green show or the Green Tom show. This is my favorite show. If this was your show, you'd probably like it more, but it is not your show. It is, of course, the Rocky Outcrop show. Thanks for joining me. Like button, subscribe button, and share it with your friends. Tweet it, all that stuff on the way out. Catch you next time.